Alright. I believe we are back. And so our peaceful little highway journey was quickly interrupted by what looks like a troll biker gang. So, for the purposes of this, if you guys have your rulebooks opened at all for reference, page 200 has a lot of the chase combat rules.
Ugh.
Oh boy,
I'm gonna do like I do and kind of simplify things as we need to. But Falkirk, I believe, if you have knowledge, anybody that has street gang knowledge can roll to see the fuck these guys are.
I just have general gang knowledge.
That's fine. I assume that's local to Seattle. To it. Okay, so you recognize this as the notorious all-troll biker gang, the Spikes. And you know that they particularly hate elves and often clash with the all-elvish gang, the Ancients. And they have like a large amount of territorial disputes and they're constantly at war with each other. But this is a fairly large established gang that is especially all about the highway attacks, and they are savage and brutal, and usually not ones to parlay. It looks like they are making a beeline in a kind of semi-formation, a little haphazard as these biker gang formations often go, towards the armored truck. So the way chase combat works is essentially, and because I'm using Roll20, it's going to be somewhat abstracted and somewhat done on here, but it works in ranges relative to each other. So obviously just picture the fact that you guys are all moving constantly, obviously, although the scene, obviously I'm not going to be moving it every second. What I'll do is I will move it relative to each other. So if somebody speeds up or does whatever, I will adjust that, but just assume these guys are moving the whole time. So the driver's actions, you can do a first, whenever you're driving in combat, you have to spend one initiative pass basically doing a driving test to make sure you maintain control of the vehicle. If you don't do that, then the pilot system takes over, which just means it immediately snaps into the grid guide and you would go like the normal speed for everything, which technically right before combat has started, which I'm about to start, is what you guys are doing now. The biker gang obviously has not snapped into the grid guide, and they are in fact manually controlling their bikes and speeding up rapidly to where they are fairly close by. For chase action specifically, you can perform either catch up or breakaway, which is a driving test to attempt to either bridge distance between you and somebody else, or close the distance gap, so you basically change your relative distance between each other. You can ram somebody if they're in short range, which is another, basically all of these involve driving tests. And you do basically a portion of your vehicle's like body and armor to another vehicle. So obviously motorcycles would not be capable of doing that. Can't really ram somebody with a bike without like killing yourself. You can cut somebody off, which essentially you perform a maneuver, to kind of slice in front of somebody, or otherwise, basically you force them to make a driving test at kind of an emergency driving test to see if you can run them off the road. And then evasive driving, which is you can lower your initiative by 10, and then you can add your intuition to your defense for the remainder of combat turns. Drivers must spend at least one action per combat turn driving their vehicle. So driving tests are not too bad. Like if you're just changing lanes, passing, or making a gradual turn, it's a threshold of 1 is what you have to roll. If you're actually avoiding obstacles or maneuvering through a tight spot, it's a threshold of 2. Any kind of really dangerous hairpin turns, which I don't think should be used here, are a 3, and any like truly insane stunts, Fast and Furious style, would be a threshold of 4. So you're not looking at like super hard driving tests. Like the system doesn't expect you to have like a super awesome driving skill necessarily. So that's for drivers mostly. So for passengers, anybody using a non-vehicle mounted weapon suffers a -2 penalty whenever you're trying to fire a weapon from a moving car. And then if you want to operate any mounted weaponries, you would use your gunnery skill, which is gunnery plus agility. And then you don't suffer the -2 penalty if it's a mounted weapon. You can target. And sorry about this big info dump. I just figured this is easy to kind of lay this all out, and then we can go over it again. This is totally just outside of the game at this point. I'm just kind of going over rules. You can target the passengers.
Craig's telling us this as they're pulling up.
All right, guys. Here's how the rules work. Yeah. Here's what you can do and can't do. You can target passengers of vehicles instead of the vehicle, which I guess isn't really for you guys because they're all driving their own vehicle. But passengers do gain armor from the vehicle. You get to add the vehicle armor to your armor for damage resistance tests. You can make a called shot on a vehicle, which is like specifically trying to target a tire or a part of a vehicle. You do take that -4 penalty for doing a called shot. And I believe that's it, because we don't have our decker here. And I've also got the stats of all the vehicles, but I don't think you guys would necessarily be privy to that information. But you would surmise that the vehicles have more life than you do. And more armor. So the way this is going to start off with is these two, I believe, are going to start in short range to probably both the both vehicles at this point, and then I was going to have the last 4 start in a medium range. And then for the purposes of weapons, at short range there's no penalties. At medium range, pistols will get a -1. At long range, everyone will get a -1. Pistols will get a -3. And at extreme range, everyone gets -3. If you actually make it to extreme range, the other driver has to make a test, or else he just like loses you. You're like too far. You made it like too far ahead of him. So you can technically outrun somebody. That's more if it's like a one-on-one. You guys are being followed by like 6 bikers. I don't know how much that's going to come into play. But we'll see. This is kind of... hopefully I didn't step over my knowledge base and overwhelm you guys with some chase combat here. But here we are.
We'll find out.
Yeah. Let's try and give it a shot, I guess. Delete all these. Okay, so everybody needs to roll for initiative.
$5 says I get to go last.
Probably.
Oh, damn it. I didn't select my guy. I rolled a 22.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, I'll put it in there. Alright, can I not? There we go.
Yeah, I was like sitting there going, haha, wait till they come on this. Oh, wait.
Wait, no one saw it. Why is no one commenting on my 22?
Can I not? There we go. I'll just do these separately. I tried grouping them, that's going to cause headaches. Okay, so you...
I play a cat.
Okay, so...
Throw a cat at them.
Falkirk.
That'll make any motorcycle driver fall over.
We just throw rocks at them.
22. Alrighty then. Let's roll all the guys I have to roll. So, Crank, you roll initiative. And Lapis, you roll initiative. And all of our troll friends roll initiative.
That's pretty good initiative.
Who was that?
The troll people.
Oh, yeah. Not bad. They all get to go twice. It's...
I get to go once.
Once is all you damn need.
Unfortunately...
Yeah.
Well, I'm about to say, unfortunately, she's driving, so she doesn't have access to her sniper rifle. She can't
Yeah.
one-shot anybody during this conflict.
So I play a Tat Cat.
Alright, so they rolled 15, 14, 13, 13, 11, 10.
Yeah. Well, the 10 guy doesn't get to go again. That's good.
That's true.
One of them doesn't.
Keep in mind, anybody that's driving has to spend at least one initiative pass actually driving unless they want to have their car revert to pilot mode. Which, at this point, technically this 1 second, both trucks are in pilot mode, but these guys are gaining on you. Or you anticipate they're going to be coming after you, so you could probably assume that Crank will be switching over to manual. For now, there's
Do we know the damage value of the mountain machine gun?
I know the stats for it.
Does anybody have knowledge of weapons? Because I don't.
I think Mount
I
actually
do.
does. Yeah, go ahead and roll.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mount, you can go ahead and roll that for a free roll just to see, like, beforehand. Yeah, if you had appraised, identified that weapon.
We see him coming.
One
Well,
success.
Pretty good
let me
knowledge
look at
on
your-
firearms.
Yeah.
Um,
Can I use a point of edge to...
Malta, you would know that the machine gun is not quite as powerful as your hunting rifle, but it is stronger than any of your normal assault rifles overall. So, Falkirk, you are up first.
Great. So it's an agility thing for the mountain machine gun?
It is a
You don't
gunnery
have
skill.
skill.
It is your gunnery skill, which is linked to agility if you want to use the machine gun. Now, keep in mind that is in the
Yes.
front of the car, and that you can kind of do a little sweeping motion in the arc, but it's kind of like a maybe not quite 90 degrees, but kind of picture like a cone attack in front of the truck is what the machine gun can reach basically. Which at this point, the two lead guys are basically next to you and behind the truck, and then the other four are kind of behind you.
Alright, I'm gonna try to shoot the closest guy with my taser.
Back a little farther.
Hey, sir.
It's kind of gonna be a nightmare moving all these guys around, actually.
Because they're not connected.
How many are there?
There are 6.
Okay.
There are 6 of them.
I don't have a gunnery skill, so it'd be rolling 6 dice versus...
Yeah.
So you do
The
take.
gunnery skill is
12
taken away by my
minus 2.
heavy weapons skill, isn't it? The same thing?
Hang on, what?
The heavy weapons skill is the same thing as the gunnery skill, right?
The gunnery is a skill. It should be. I don't know if any of you guys have
Yeah,
it,
it's
but
separate.
No, because I took heavy weapons instead.
yeah, heavy weapons is like for handling like grenade launchers and rocket launchers and stuff.
Okay.
Gunnery is specifically basically just mounted weaponry, which is mostly for riggers, because they're the ones that use like vehicle stuff all the
Yeah.
time. So this is kind of a rare occurrence. You guys just happen to have a vehicle with a mounted weapon on it.
Even if Saren was around, he doesn't. I don't think he's got rigging
Yeah.
skills.
Oh
That's
yeah.
the thing, we don't have a rigger. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Our one hole.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
I mean,
exciting part.
technically there are no classes in this game. Somebody can buy a rigger console and just start taking those skills. It's not like a...
Yeah.
It isn't a class-based game. Like, anybody can do any skill. It's just, if you want to
Right.
start fracturing your character in that way, kind of multi...
Yeah, Ursa.
Start learning to drive better. Alright, so, Falkirk, you would take a -2 penalty, as a -2 modifier,
Okay.
to hit the troll friend, and I believe passenger gets a bonus. Where did I put that? I know it's still reaction intuition for dodging, even though you're driving, but it still uses the same defense stuff. Okay, defenders get +1 defense test for being in a moving vehicle. I think that's how I worked it out after all the modifiers.
That's still good. 4 successes.
And I guess I should mention, are you trying to just shoot the vehicle, or are you specifically trying to target the passenger?
What's the easier play?
Yeah.
If you shoot the passenger, he gets a +1 to his defense test, and he gets to add the armor from the vehicle. If he does get hit, he adds the armor from the vehicle to his damage resistance. If you attack the vehicle, there is no defensive modifier, and you're just doing damage to the vehicle's monitor directly. Is the vehicle's HP, whatever you call it, condition monitor.
Does electrical make any difference?
I'm gonna just, for the sake of simplicity, I'm just gonna do a 1-to-1 on terms of its damage output at this point, because technically it would do stun damage, but since it's electrical, let's just say that affects a vehicle the same as a penetrating weapon would.
Falkirk know who has a higher damage threshold? The troll or the vehicle?
You would surmise that for the most part vehicles are healthier than people, although trolls tend to be pretty healthy, but even a motorcycle would have more hit points than even a troll would.
Alright, I'll go for the troll.
Okay. So that was a nice 4 success. So Trolley rolls his reaction intuition. I should really memorize that. Is a 9 + 1 for being the dude in the car. It's 10 dice. What does that give me? 3 successes. So you are actually tagged that sucker. You are able to whip that taser out the window, which I'm just going to assume. Technically, we're supposed to spend like combat turns readying weapons and doing all those actions. I'm going to kind of not worry about that for the most part to speed things up.
And I guess
Pretend that my clairvoyance allowed us a little bit of.
There you go. Everybody, yeah. If people were being sticklers about having like quick draw holsters or something, I might have to do it. But yeah, we'll go ahead and say you guys were prepared for this onslaught.
sorry, back to like really basic stuff. So my pistol skill is a 12, and I rolled 11 dice for my taser. Did I put in something wrong?
You have 5 + 6 - 2.
Right.
So 5 is your pistol skill, right?
Right.
6 is what? Your agility?
Yeah, and I should have +1 for miscellaneous. Adept.
So wait.
Yeah, sorry. If you're rolling from your weapon, which I'm glad that you did, your skill there should actually be the base plus your miscellaneous. You should do that math.
Okay. So let's change the skill from a 5 to a 6?
No, or yeah, under ranged weapon I would, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because that roll should be the addition of your base column plus your miscellaneous column, yes. Okay. Because that math is done on your skills, but that does not... Obviously that value is just entered into your actual weapon, so yes, that should be...
Oh, I see, yeah. It looks like only that one was messed up. The melee weapons are fine.
Okay.
Cool. Alright.
Alright. Okay, so you do whip that taser out and manage to actually shoot the nearest spiker troll. He looks quite shocked at having tasers just come flying out of that side vehicle, which the trolls were not currently locked on at all, so that was a bit of a surprise to have this attack suddenly come from this vehicle to the side.
Surprise!
Surprise! So that is a 9 + 1 is 10 damage with a 5 armor penetration, and that just does stun damage. So his armor penetration is -5, but he also gets a plus. What did I say? He gets the armor from the vehicle, and the armor of the vehicle is 9.
Holy shit.
Yeah. After you do armor penetration, does it let you do another value after that? It does, doesn't it? Or does it just go after that? Okay, yeah, void monitor. So I will do a +9. Let's see if this math works. So that was an 8 plus 9
9
plus 1 from his toughness quality -5. Okay, I think that did work. So he rolled all those dice, which is 18 minus 5,
Jesus.
and only got a 4, which means he takes 6. Because
Nice.
the original damage was 10, right?
Yeah.
So he takes 6 stun damage.
Mm-hmm.
So let's. I'm just gonna have to make a. I'm just gonna enter it in this column, and I'm just gonna have to try to remember with all these different guys because I can't put it in the character sheet. That one specifically will have a -2 to his rolls.
Plot, pen and paper. Are they actually named different things, or are they all just
No,
named the same thing?
they're all their own. They're just all mob minions kind of a thing. So
Yeah.
I decided if I should do ascending or descending numbers. What makes more sense to me?
Here's a piece of paper.
Thank you. Maybe I should color coordinate them too.
That might not be a bad idea.
Let's call you red.
Or yeah, exactly. Yeah, just call them, Just like call them A, B, C, D, and E.
Yeah.
But colors work just as well.
Green.
No creativity with you.
Brown. Orange. Purple. Pinky. Alright, so. Red Troll is a -2 right now. Alright, so now it is Lapis's turn. And she comes in the comm link and says, hey, what's going on? I heard the motorcycle engines, and I heard it sounded like some electrical shot. I don't know what the taser sounds like.
That.
What's the sit rep back
Anybody
there?
answer at this point?
You guys can just kind of talk as a free action. I'll go ahead and let that happen. Or I guess Falkirk, since you went, you can go ahead and announce.
Yeah, there's a biker gang out here that's coming up on us pretty quickly, so I fired first.
Says, oh shit. Alright, Crank, get ready for some fancy driving. And she kind of looks around and basically gets ready, but there doesn't appear to be anybody near her right now. And you hear her kind of rummaging through the truck, seeing if she can find anything up in the cab. And she kind of, she actually reaches up and bangs on the truck, and she says, hey, Troll, you hear that? And Crank actually turns to her and he's like, yeah, I heard that. He's doing his magic mojo up on the roof.
By the way, they really hate elves.
She says, wait a minute. Are they all trolls? A troll biker gang?
Oh yeah.
That's a goddamn motherfucking spikes. So yeah, she's not really gonna do anything on her pass. So next we have this guy, Blue Troll.
Biker Blue!
Biker Blue! And I guess I said they were already short, but I didn't put them actually short. So let's say, let's see. Well, he needs to do his driving test, but he will. Well, so they have to do their regular driving test first anyway. So actually, they're gonna spend their entire first initiative pass just driving.
Wait, why is that?
You have to
I
basically
wasn't clear on
spend, you have to spend a single one complex action per combat turn, which means just one of your initiative passes, driving the vehicle, so performing a vehicle test.
Oh, wow.
Otherwise, the vehicle's autopilot
Sorry,
kicks in
Heather, you're not going to get to do anything.
because it senses you as
Okay.
or you can have the pilot take over. Basically, is your other choice. If
I
you
guess
want
you
to
can
if
do
you
the
want to
pilot,
manually
yeah.
if you want to manually control the vehicle, then it's going to take a
Heather,
complex action.
Leave it on pilot and just stick your sniper rifle out the passenger window, past Falkirk's face.
What I'm going to say is you can go ahead and do. With that driving test, you can choose to do one of the chase actions if you want to. So you can do a catch up or breakaway, or a ram, or cut off, or one of those things. Just again to help basically speed things along. So this guy will go ahead and do a catch up to try to get up to the vehicle, the truck here. So he will need to roll a driving test. Groundcraft plus reaction. Right, where are you? Didn't write the skill down here. God damn it. What is that? Reaction. There we go. Thought I had it. I had it for somebody else. Two successes, so actually need Crank to roll his defense, because at this point he is going to switch over to manual. Well, I guess technically it's still on pilot right now, it hasn't been his initiative pass yet. So in that case, since it's technically still on pilot and the troll got to go before Crank, I'm going to say that Crank does not get to actually roll anything, and therefore the troll gets to shift up and close in with the truck. So we'll move him. Come back, truck. Motorcycle. I tried to pair them together. Roll20 is kind of goofy about that. But he will basically come alongside the truck at this point. And that is his whole turn to move up there. And then comes, looks like Green Troll's turn. And he will... he's just going to attempt to... I guess he will also catch up to the... Well, he's not really catching up. He's pretty close to you guys. He's just going to roll his test to make sure he can stay on his vehicle. Two successes. Okay, so he is able to maintain speeds with the... I guess you guys are still on pilot mode. I guess he'll close in about as fast as he can. He's kind of like right behind you guys at this point. Right behind this truck. Now is Crank's turn. Crank will at this point immediately switch over to manual controls. He radios in on the comlink and says, alright guys, we're going to have a hell of a time trying to lose this group, but hopefully we can at least, there's enough traffic here, and the motorcycles, maybe we can lose a couple of them. But I'm going to switch over to manual controls now, try and keep up. Hold on, Ursuf. Hold on to something. I hope we strapped everything down back there. So he will attempt a drive-away maneuver, a breakaway from the nearest troll. Oh shit, I should have done it as him. But he's not injured, so that won't matter. Okay, one success. And then the troll just rolls his 8, I believe. Is that how that works? Do they roll a defense? I'm sorry, I gotta look this up again. Do they roll a defense test?
Versus what? Like the
For
car
every hit she
careening into
beats
them?
the threshold by, may shift one range category towards or away from the opponent. Okay, so you're not actually, the other guy doesn't get to roll, you're just picking whatever threshold that is. So I'm assuming at this point the threshold is a 1, so with 0 net hits, he is not able to actually break away from the troll. He is able to switch over to manual and maintain control of his vehicle, but he can't get any distance between him and the other troll. And he's not like doing any crazy fancy stuff yet. Ursiv, you are next, sir.
All right. Just tell me how far I can get in this whole narrative before my turn's over. So he pulls out of clairvoyance. So he didn't actually do anything really. I'll have to roll my
Drain for that one.
brain, which we didn't take any damage at all. So stands up, pushes the crate in front of him to the side.
That was a great strategy you had there.
Yeah, well, I didn't.
You're so protected in there.
Yep. And then, well, okay, here's the thing. Can I open up the back door of the truck and also cast a spell? Or will I
No.
get stopped? Okay, then I wait, and I'll open the door next turn. Because I don't want to open it up and then
Okay.
just stand there.
If you're ready to open the door by your next pass, I will let you open it and fire off a
Yeah.
spell. Because firing off a spell
Okay,
I know is a
then
complex
then I-
action.
Right. So I get up to the back door of the truck and I wait until my next turn.
Okay. Alright, now a whole bunch of trolls get to go. So, red guy, who was the one that got shot by the taser.
That
Yeah, so he is obviously close enough where he will just fire, and he's just going to kind of fire at the truck itself with his... so they actually have the motorcycle kind of in the middle of it in front of them. They just have like a... literally just looks like a jerry-rigged mounted like AK-47 that they can kind of swivel and shoot from, but it is actually attached to the vehicle.
guys, I really thought they would swerve off and pull off the side of the road.
Maybe they just want some
Usually a guy
Taco
won't
Bueno.
keep riding a bike.
What is Taco Bueno again?
In the future, it's all people eat. Haven't you seen Demolition Man?
That'd be so awesome.
That would be Taco Bell, actually, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, that is Taco Bell. Yeah.
Actually, no, he does have to take his driving test still, doesn't he? Otherwise,
Yeah.
his pilot thing will take over, so he will actually have to drive for... I think everybody's going to have to basically take a driving test for their first pass. For
That's what I
everybody
assumed, but
that's-
he said he's so close. I was like, I guess he doesn't have to do it then.
No, yeah, he still needs to... They all need to, like, maintain they can keep driving. Because you guys are now... I mean, they're manually driving, and you guys are going to be switching over to manual. So he will roll his, which he gets a -2, so he actually only rolls 6 dice. One success, getting close to glitching. So with one success, he is still able to maintain basically right where he is. He doesn't get to speed up, but he's not slowing down, especially because you guys are still on pilot. All right, next is a bunch of rear guys all in a row. This looks like first guy is purple,
The rear admirals.
rear admiral. So he will roll to try and catch up with so it's a threshold of 1, which means he would need a 2 or higher. Wow. Okay. So at this point, he will go and just catch all the way up to the truck.
Now I'm imagining like the motorcycles fly in front of the trolls, and the trolls catch up.
That's. I tried to group them together, but it ends up being really
Yeah,
janky.
yeah.
So it's.
They're,
I
they're
can't-
holding on, but their legs
I
are flapping.
Yeah. Yeah. And then pink guy also roll 3 successes, so he will. Oops. Come back, Mike. Just for the sake of slightly, and again, I'm kind of it's not going to be a perfect science here, but
Right.
basically keeping distances together. So right now, pretty much all these guys are within short range of you guys. And then orange guy also gets 3, so he will actually also speed up, and he will just kind of maintain distance with the truck over here. So I kind of made an odd little waterfall effect with all the different bikers. Mauta, currently your vehicle is in pilot mode, but all these motorcycle gangs start just screeching up, and now are all up-ons.
Oh.
So you can choose to either have the pilot maintain its current speed, or do a driving test in order to either drive forward or attempt one of these chase combat maneuvers, which is ramming, cutting off, or I made the catch up and breakaway kind of the same thing as taking a driving test. So both ramming and cut off, you have to be in short range, which pretty much
Everybody is.
yeah, with you guys especially, the green and the orange, you would definitely be able to do that with.
Well, hell, if I ram them, I'm gonna take out like 3 of them just by switching lanes.
So the way ramming works is you would roll your groundcraft skill as your attack versus the defender's reaction intuition. So basically, instead of firing a weapon, you would roll your vehicle's skill, and the damage is based on your vehicle's body and current speed, which pilot is. Oh, crap, I didn't write that down. Okay, for armored truck, it's the body. Okay, so it would be JT's truck would be the body also. So your damage value is like the body times 2 total, I guess, which would be kind of big. But I know that your vehicle in ramming somebody also takes damage, because obviously you're slamming into people with your own vehicle. So the defender actually resists that same damage with body plus armor minus 6 armor penetration. Oh, sorry. So when you ram somebody, the defender resists damage with body and armor plus minus 6 armor penetration, and then the ramming vehicle, the one who does the ramming, resists half the damage. So you actually do half the damage to yourself. The other thing you can do is cut someone off, which is kind of a fancy maneuver you do without necessarily completely trying to hit somebody. You're just trying to cause them to swerve out of control. And to do that, you make an opposed groundcraft skill as a pilot groundcraft skill as well. And if successful, so you roll yours, they roll theirs. And if you're successful, then the target vehicle must make an additional test with the threshold equal to the net hits that you rolled against him. And if he doesn't get that, then he crashes. So those are.
That's about 10 feet above my head.
I know.
Right now.
So basically, it's all a bunch of groundcraft skills involved with combat systems. Or you can just let the pilot handle its stuff
and just shoot out the window.
Yeah, and then you would just do it like Falkirk did and take that -2 penalty, or let the truck drive itself, and even operate the machine gun or something if you wanted to. The truck's autopilot will just try to keep up with the flow of traffic, which you will start falling behind because everybody else is going to be switching to manual. Everybody has been to manual, so that if it's in pilot for too long, it will start falling. Everybody else will start moving up north, which, I mean, that might be okay. I don't know.
Oh, jeez.
I will allow you to free action talk with Falkirk at the very least, because he's sitting right next to you.
What do you think, Falkirk?
Try to ram that guy.
Why not?
Alrighty.
I was not paying attention to what was being said.
Neither was I, because it went about
God
10
damn it.
feet over my head.
Yeah.
You should have known that was going to happen.
Yeah, there's a lot of extra rules for...
I heard ram, check.
I heard blah blah ram, blah blah attack.
All right,
Blah,
so
blah.
yeah, so the two main things you can do if you're driving in a situation like
Oh,
this
here we go
is to
again.
ram somebody or cut them off, and they both involve rolling your pilot groundcraft skill.
My
Okay.
brain keeps stopping at ram, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
ramming
one so
with ramming your goal is to do damage to them, but you also take some damage to your vehicle. With cutoff, your goal is to try and just force them to crash completely, but it involves like several groundcraft piloting rolls. So
oh, cut them off then. Tried that.
Okay. So I just roll my
Like,
pilot
basically, I'm not
groundcraft.
sure what the difference is. What are you doing when you pull them off?
So it's like if you're swerving, like in front of somebody, you would swerve to make them. You're basically forcing them to roll to try to dodge you, and in doing so, they might lose control of their vehicle. Kind of a situation.
Okay.
Like in an action movie, you're just like swerving and you like just jump in front of them or swerve into their lane, but not necessarily with the intent of literally crashing into them, which is essentially what ramming is a controlled crash into them. But just trying to like make them like swerve off and crash or something.
Okay.
So you can either do it to green guy or orange guy, I would think at this point. And you would roll your pilot ground skill, and then they roll theirs. And if yours is higher, we will go from there.
Do I get any modifiers for being in a truck and they're in a freaking Harley?
No. I mean, if anything, it would be negative, so I won't give you any modifiers. Because you're in a tense situation. Wow. That is a
Hey!
hell of a roll. Which guy were you doing this against?
Which guy will be doing this against?
Orange.
So there's one that's like right behind you, which I could roleplay that as you like maybe slam on the brakes a little bit or something, and then the orange guy is kind of right next to you, maybe a little bit behind. So that one would be like you would be your classic like kind of trying to get almost basically pushing him off the road kind of a thing.
Wouldn't I hit the red guy too?
I'm gonna say you can only do like one at a time with one roll.
Alright, orange dude.
Okay, so you're gonna kind of swerve a little bit over to the right lane, kind of maybe end up a little bit behind the truck, and try and cause the orange guy to swerve out of control. We will see if he can maintain his grip on the bike. Oh no!
Please tell me he takes out someone with him.
So, yeah, you managed to swerve a bit over into his lane, and he suddenly freaks out at your sudden change of direction into his lane, and immediately his vehicle starts going out of control. So what now he does is he makes a test with a threshold of 3. If he does not get 3 or higher, he will... bad things will happen. Equal to net hits. So he just rolls another test. 4 successes, okay. So somehow...
Holy shit.
So you are able to swerve in his lane. His vehicle goes a little bit out of control. I will actually knock him back a little bit as he maintains control of his vehicle. He is able to avoid the crash, but you also kind of push him. We'll put him a little farther because he had to like roll all the way to the right.
And that's my turn, ladies and gentlemen.
A tense moment. Falkirk, you are up next. Reduce
Who
everybody's
did
by
I taser before?
10. That would be the red guy, I believe.
Alright, I'm gonna try it.
8, 5, 4, 4, 4, 3, 3, 3, 1, 0, 0. Okay. Go ahead.
Taser him again.
Okay. The tasery takes it again.
Are those guys towards the bottom? Just a 3, 1, and 0 on the turn order.
The orange guy is 0, pink guy is 1, and purple guy is 3.
Okay.
If that answers that.
And a -2.
Yes. And then he will get a -2 to defense since he is injured.
I don't think you took off the 10 on everybody. The bottom couple have 13, 11, and 10 still.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hit enter. My bad.
Oh,
There.
okay.
Now it goes. Okay.
Yeah.
So his is a 9 minus 2. Which I believe is a 7. 2 successes! Once again, the dart laser electric things come out. Shoom! And manage to.
Which you don't think. You wouldn't imagine those would work properly, like driving down the highway.
He's
But, hey,
he's been pretty goddamn solid with that weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going the same speed as we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's maintaining.
I would
Alright,
imagine. I would imagine
Yeah.
like the propulsion of taser darts would be kind of slower, so like the wind would catch them or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
It might. Yeah, I don't know.
Now that wound modifier also comes into place when resisting damage, I assume, right? Because I have to enter all that manually.
Okay.
Correct? Yeah, I'm gonna assume.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna technically call it as a -7 armor because I can only do 1 minus because he technically has a -2 from his being damaged already, and then he gets his +9 from the vehicle.
Wow.
We'll see what that does. God, also a terrible roll.
Yeah.
He resists 3 damage,
Wow,
which means he
yeah.
takes 7 damage, I believe.
3, 2, 9. Yeah, 7.
Okay,
Sure.
so you whip out that taser gun, sink those darts right into him. He gives a sudden shocked expression on his face, and then he slumps over, which
no.
unfortunately, even though he drops unconscious, he is speeding down the highway. So he falls over onto the asphalt, and his body just rolls backwards as the bike starts flipping back. And his body just flies like a troll ragdoll back as the bike wildly swings back. You know what? I'm going to force this guy to roll a driving test to avoid this bike coming after down the road next to him.
You guys really need to see Mad Max. This is like the movie we're doing right here.
Excellent. Yeah, great timing for that. I'm going to make him need a 2 or higher to avoid this bike.
Of course you
Okay,
are.
he gets
Yeah.
his 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He says it.
Good, you're cracking maybe rolls again.
Yeah.
It should have been like a 4.
At least he
An
said it before he
insane
rolled
stunt.
this time.
Yeah.
Health power!
Yep.
Alright, so this guy is... Actually, I'll just go ahead and lose him. Alright, that guy is taken out.
Down the highway.
Yeah, his body just rolls back there. You hear various horns and screeching as the grid guide suddenly tries to come up with a pilot maneuver for all the vehicles with a troll body suddenly flying backwards onto the highway. Lapis's turn is next. She notices this motorcycle is now basically adjacent to the car. So she will attempt to swing her sword out at the general direction of the motorcycle, which is... Again, this is
boy.
kind of abstracted, but she can try and, like... This guy is pretty decently close to the car. She will attempt a fairly tricky maneuver. It's definitely going to be a -2. And just attack the... try to slice up the vehicle as best she can. This you are... Blades, but -2. 2 successes. Spiker gets to roll 9 dice. Okay, so he sees the sword. It is a gigantic sword, and he is in fairly close proximity, but he is able to dodge ever so slightly, and the sword goes whizzing right above the machine gun as he puts a little more distance between himself and the vehicle. Next is that guy's turn. So he will
I think he should have taken a driving test to see if he could like swerve appropriately.
Well, it was just his dodge from the attack. So, even though he's got the mounted machine gun, let's see, who would notice this? I don't know if any of y'all would notice this, actually. But I'll just describe it anyway. He kind of takes out, he's got this giant, like, concrete, cinder block-looking stone rock thing attached to a chain, and he starts taking that and just whipping it around in an attempt to just bash the truck directly, now that he's this close.
That seems like a futile maneuver. It's like hitting a truck with a slab of concrete. Yeah. Okay.
So since it's not mounted, he will have to take a -2 though. Still on. Yeah. Wow. All right. He is.
That's all right. It's an okay.
Jesus.
And yes, I called it a chain rock flail. So I guess Crank
He
is
like
actually.
gets it up into the axle.
Yeah. He's like swinging it over there, trying to bring this truck down, basically.
I think you might have done it.
Crank rolls his reaction intuition, which is an 8. Three successes. So that concrete definitely finds, chunks of metal and gears to grind into. He didn't do a called shot, just kind of generic shot at the, but he can kind of get to the underbelly since he's on a bike. Alright, so I actually do damage on a vehicle, which is the vehicle's body and armor. So I said the DV was 11, so plus the 2 successes would be 13. Which does do damage. God, this thing rolls insane amounts of defense, though. Body plus armor. So he's got to resist 13 damage, is what I said?
DV. What the fuck? It's a big roll.
Yeah.
12 successes. Seems like a pretty
Yeah.
solid amount.
It's. I mean, it is a giant truck, armored truck. So it takes 1 damage. So he does. He is able actually to break through all the defenses of that truck and actually take a little bit of a chunk out of it.
Wow.
Should probably put that in Crank's notes. Alright, and then next is the green guy. And he will just use his mounted machine gun and attempt to spray the vehicle here. Which is
vehicle?
going to be... Mount is going to have to roll defense for that.
Oh.
I kind of
Okay.
roll their defense. That seems weird.
What am I supposed to roll on?
1 second. For some reason it won't let me roll that.
Probably because you were trying to do cockamamie roll.
No, just the button's not there. I don't think this rolls automatic skill. And it's not no modifier because he's a mounted gun. 5 successes. Okay,
That's
so
another solid roll. Jesus.
yeah, so mounted, you're driving, so you roll your reaction, intuition, defense.
What do I roll?
Your reaction plus
Reaction
intuition.
Okay.
That defense button keeps appearing and disappearing for me. It was there
Is
when we
it?
started, but now it's
Okay.
not there.
Yeah. It's
I don't know
good.
where it's at
I don't know,
now.
it's just janky or what's going on with that. Okay, so he is able to spray the vehicle, which the damage on that gun is a 10 with a -2 armor penetration, which means it is 10 plus 3, so it's 13 damage.
Of course it is.
Wow.
13 with a -2. And that vehicle is a 24, so -2 is 22. 22 dice to resist 13 damage. Resists 8 of that damage, so the truck you guys are on takes quite a bit of damage as the assault rifle. You can hear it for sure when you guys are in there. You just bullets are just spraying kind of all over in the back of the truck. Maybe one like wings the windshield, kind of startles you guys a little bit as he's just back there peppering it. And I guess I'll go ahead and put that in Mauta's character sheet as the current monitor for that. What did I say? 5 damage?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, Crank's turn next. He will attempt to do also a cutoff motion with this troll right here. So he'll roll his skill. Get 1 success. Good job.
Not great.
Yeah. And the spike guy. Successes. So he attempts to swerve, but maybe he either sees another car coming or thinks better of it and actually is not able to enter that lane at all and continues on his current path. So, nothing doing. Ursiv, your turn is next.
All right. Layout. So what do we say? Remind me again. What do we say the boxes were in meters? Like 2.5, 3.
Let's see what my
We
range
decided
was
last
for.
time, but I just can't remember
Yeah.
what we decided.
I said 0 to 10 meters is within 5 squares. So 10 meters is around 4 to
2?
5 to 6 squares, I guess. Sorry. Sorry, what?
Okay, so that's like 2.5 per square.
Probably.
Okay, I'm just trying to get a definition so that I know, like, when I'm casting, like,
We need
area
to-
effect things, what to cast.
All right. We need to at some point translate all your spells to like squares, or like
Yeah,
relative.
well, I mean, it's a choice. Like, yeah, my Bolt Lightning, which is what I'm about to cast, its range equals force times magic. No, that's not right.
In like meters.
Yeah, in meters. Right. So it's like, how does that translate?
I mean, yeah, we can just come up with it. Like force means this many squares. And
Mm-hmm.
you just want to do it that way.
Okay, yeah. With a few exceptions, the area is a radius in meters equal to the force of the spell. So that's why I'm trying to get a definition. So like if my force is 5, that means 2 squares wide, right? Is that what we're saying? Or
If
like,
each-
I'm just trying to. So if I like if
So
if I
not
said my
distance,
force
but
was
just
5,
like the AOE radius, like the circle you're
the
making.
AOE
basically?
radius.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. That sounds right, I guess. So like you pick a middle point and it's 2 squares in every direction of that middle point, or would you just like do
Right.
a box that's 2
It
by
would
2,
be
which is just well, that's no, it'd be one.
that's what it would be.
It'd be a 3 by 3
That's what it
box.
if I did it a force of 5, it would be a 2 by 2, because it's 5 meters in any direction from the center.
Any direction from the center, so that would actually be a bigger radius than 2 by 2. 2 by 2 is just literally like a little square.
No, I'm sorry. 5 meters total. 5
Okay.
meters total, end to end. Right. You're right. So that would be 2 by 2, right?
Okay. Yeah. So, in other words, you could hit like both the purple and the pink guy with that in that scenario.
With a force of 5. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that sounds right.
I'm gonna try to write that down so I don't forget that again.
Right,
So
yeah.
we talk about this every
Yeah,
time.
I house ruled a bunch of the distance stuff, so that's gonna come into play.
Yeah. Force in meters. Okay, so
Okay.
okay, yeah, so I'm casting ball lightning with a force of 5 in between the pink and the purple. No,
Okay.
well, I mean, I throw open the thing first. The back door.
Right. Yeah. You dramatically open the door.
That's right. Like fucking
Doves
face-off
fly
or something.
out. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. In the middle of the highway.
Yep.
Tossing a ball lightning. And what do they use to dodge that? Is it willpower or something? Weird.
I think it's like being shot up with a gun. Intuition reaction.
Oh, okay.
But what I'm curious about, it's an AoE. So are just the people getting hit? Or are the people and the vehicles getting hit? That's what I don't know.
I could roll for.
It's
Well. I could roll
I
for all
don't know
4.
what the rules are. Okay. I mean, yeah, I just don't know what the rules are in terms of spells and vehicle combat and all that
Yeah.
kind of thing. 2, which is not great.
I just roll their reaction intuition.
Yes.
Alright. Pink guy.
I don't know how a vehicle works in that regard.
Do they get. Well, it'd be the same dodge mechanic because they're still dodging with the vehicle. Which I guess maybe it
Yeah.
should just be that. Well, I guess you could still do damage to their vehicle with that. So they get the plus
So maybe
1.
it's just them that dodges? And then if they take damage or vehicle damage takes damage too, that would make the most sense, I think. I don't know if that's
So they just roll 1 defense. I could do that. And if
one
it-
dodge defense.
One
then
dodge
if they
defense.
take damage,
yeah.
so does their
So
vehicle.
I won't give
gone.
them the plus 1 for being the passenger since it's an AoE. Alright, so pink guy rolls 2. And purple guy rolls 6.
Jesus Christ!
That's nuts.
Does that mean they both?
Does the attacker beat on ties or the defender?
I don't know. That's a good question. Let's see.
I mean, technically, he didn't roll higher, but if... Well, I mean, normally if you tie, the attacker doesn't get in. I think the defender wins
Doesn't
on
hit?
ties. Yeah.
It's like a gunshot. So
Right, yeah,
however
that's true.
gunshots
So,
work.
yeah, defender always wins on ties for that.
Okay. So I didn't hit anybody.
Yeah.
I tried.
Yeah, the ball lightning goes through. They see it flash. Both vehicles are able to slightly swerve in their areas and avoid the electrical surge. Flows all around. Purple guy will attempt to he's actually going to attempt to catch up even closer up to the truck up here. So he's going to do another driving test. Which these guys aren't actually colored at all, but I'm just making it easier on myself. A 4. And I think Crank is technically in manual control now. And we're going to say the threshold of that was a 2. It's pretty much his baseline threshold. So he is going to be able to catch up completely, make his way pretty far up here. Now I can clearly see the driver and the passenger from up here. And finally, the pink guy is kind of pissed at having lightning bolts thrown at him, so he will take his gun and aim it at the troll in the back. Which is going to be an 8. Minus... no. Because he is using a mounted weapon.
0 success.
0 successes, so you are sitting in the back. Yeah, he sprays his gun. That is almost a glitch too. So once again, your little John Woo when you're sitting there in the back and bullets are flying all around you and not a single one manages to hit you. The combat turn is almost over. Falkirk, you get one more pass for this combat round.
Are the pink, orange, and green guys in range of my taser without a penalty due to range?
At this point, the orange guy is actually a bit farther. Pink guy is in range. Green guy, you might be able to see, but I'd probably confer a penalty because you're trying to shoot, like, behind you a little bit.
Like
Okay.
down the length of the car.
Yeah, down the length of the car. He's kind of like right behind you.
Shoot the pink guy.
Okay. Falkirk has been, like, fucking solid with his gun, by the way.
Yep. So far.
I would hope so.
It's
A lot
what he
of dice.
does. It's all he does. Jesus.
Yeah.
Just
That's
terrifying.
a good roll for.
Yeah,
10
I cannot keep
member.
up with that.
I'd hope not.
Now, are you shooting? You're shooting at the troll, I assume.
Yeah. Just like before.
He'll get his +1. 3 successes. So, unfortunately, your fucking gun is just solid, crang crang, and just fires out those electrical darts again, right into him. So he gets to roll. That is again the same. 9 plus 2 is 11 damage. With a -5. -5, and he gets the +9 armor. If I could ever roll like a good damage resistance test, which I can't, 2 damage. Jesus, I am the worst at rolling that roll.
And a whole bunch of ones.
If you guys hit me, I am just look at all those 1s and 2s, just terrible.
Yeah. That's the thing, though. We have to hit you.
If you can hit me, then I can't roll at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was 11 damage. He resists 2. He takes 9 stun damage. He is barely conscious. You see a lot of damage. You don't see any necessarily smoke coming out, but he is like, I mean, even from driving, you can see him kind of doing this like awkward, like shaky maneuver as he's trying to drive. So that will end the current combat turn, which is as good of a stopping point as I've got. Next time we will roll for initiative. And unfortunately, I can't quite insert Saren into it yet, but things will happen hopefully relatively soon, depending on how long this combat sequence goes, where I can introduce him. Because we didn't make it.
I need to before we stop. I need to roll for my stun damage.
Oh, your drain, yeah. We didn't make it quite as far as I thought we might make it, but
So it's okay.
you are good at
Never
rolling
mind.
drain resistance. Yeah.
Yes.
You can't roll to actually cast the spell, but by God, it's not going to do anything to you.
Yep.
Just keep on checking. Alright, so we will stop here for now in the middle of this exciting highway chase scene. We'll have to get back into it, back in the
Middle of
groove.
it.
Yeah, next week. But that's where we're at right now. At least we're properly on the road now with our actual road rage adventure. Thank you to Chris, Heather, and Reese. I am Eric. See you next week for our Shadowrun 5th edition online role-playing live streaming adventures. See you guys next time.